Hey folks, it's Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. And this is from a movie that Till from Germany sent me. Another Michael Keaton film because I reviewed The Dream Team. This one is The Paper. It's a film from 1994 directed by Ron Howard. Now, The Paper, or I guess as it's called in Germany, Schwarzwäldigen, or whatever. Yeah, Michael Keaton, you got Robert Duvall, Glenn Close, Randy Quaid, Marisa Tomei. You have Jason Alexander in a small role. Music by Randy Newman. David Cope and Stephen Cope helped work on the script. Now, The Paper, what can I say about The Paper? I liked it alright. I liked it okay. But I like Michael Keaton. I know he's got that new film coming out, Birdman, which looks interesting. The Paper is pretty much a film about 24 hours on this newspaper called The Sun. It takes place in New York. And like I said, it's 24 hours in the life of this newspaper and the rapid fire way that the business in the newspaper is done. Michael Keaton's character is a workaholic. His woman, Marisa Tomei, is pregnant. She used to work there. She's on leave because of her pregnancy. And she wants Michael Keaton to get another job, which is less hours and more pay. But Michael Keaton doesn't want to because he likes where he's at and he loves the rush, the fast pace of where he's at. So a lot of the movie's kind of blowing her off, and yeah, that sort of thing because he's a workaholic. And of course, by the end of it, he realizes, what's more important. Let's see. Marisa Tomei, like I said, is Michael Keaton's woman. Robert Duvall, he's pretty much the boss of the newspaper. He's sort of giving Michael Keaton advice and letting him know about this, and that. That he was a workaholic too, and he's pretty estranged from his daughter. And I believe Robert Duvall's character also has prostate cancer. But it's not like he dies or gets sick or anything. It's just like a little thing that they put in there. Glenn Close, she's not the boss, because that's Robert Duvall, but she's sort of the person below the boss. And she's kind of a little bit of a stuck-up bitch type of character. I don't say cold-hearted, because you realize she does have a little bit of a heart at the end, because there's certain things that she does. But, she's the one that a lot of the office talk crap on for good reason. And then Randy Quaid, he's a guy who also writes for the newspaper. He wrote this article about this guy, and pretty much that, what do you call it? The parking people who take the cars away, tow the cars away, and his car got towed away, and it got fucked up, and it was a car, I forget, it was like a brand new car, it was like a really nice car that Randy Quaid's character owned, and he got towed away, and he's been writing these articles complaining, and people are like, it's a pretty popular article. And that leads into a little thing in the third act where you have Jason Alexander from Seinfeld. He has a small role in this. And even to a point where Randy Quaid's a little bit of a paranoid type of character. He even has a gun. There's a moment where Marisa Tomei is trying to talk to Michael Keaton, but all these other people are talking to Michael Keaton, and Randy Quaid's like, saying the right thing. Hey, you should let Michael Keaton talk to his woman, talk to his wife. Hey, you should let him talk to his wife. And he pulls out the gun and he shoots. I think you should let the husband talk to the wife. So it got a little bit of craziness, but Randy Quaid's pretty crazy in real life, so that makes sense. And most of the roles he does is pretty crazy. There's not many films he's done where he plays the straight role. I mean, he's been crazy in National Lampoon's Vacation films, Independence Day, a lot of films. But, yeah, and then during this day, there's a story about these two African-American teenagers who get accused of shooting someone, but then throughout, Michael Keaton finds out they didn't really do it, and he has to prove it. get a quote by a certain time before the papers are printed. If he doesn't, they don't go with this other story, or they don't go with this other, not really story, but this other headline. And it's not like a thriller or anything. It's not like the Pelican Brief or anything like that. It's or All the President's Men. It's a comedy, but it's also a bit of a drama. But it's a bit of a day in the life of the newspaper. But I liked it okay because it's not like a drama that made me think. It's not like a comedy that made me laugh a lot. You have some good lines, like there's this story about this whale giving birth, and Michael Keaton says, "I thought she was on the pill." Well, I think Michael Keaton does a good job. I thought the whole cast does a good job in this. And you do get the idea of the rapid-fire pace that you have to be while working at the newspaper, and I like those parts. I think it's just the parts with Marisa Tomei. Like, you have little bits of Robert Duvall trying to get to know his daughter more. You have little bits of Marisa Tomei trying to talk with Michael Keaton. And Marisa Tomei didn't do a bad job. It just, to be honest, it wasn't really that interesting. Wasn't interesting at all. I mean, it's sort of stuff, okay, Michael Keaton's a workaholic, and I mean, he should be nicer to his pregnant wife. And of course, by the end, he realizes that she's much more important because she gets rushed to the hospital. Michael Keaton's there. And pretty much, by the end, everything sort of comes together where Glenn Close is going to run with this one article, and Michael Keaton's like, no, you can't, shut those papers down, stop the presses. I got the quote. We could be right today. And Glenn Close is like, who cares? If I stop now and we waste all this money printing all this other stuff, we could be wrong today, we'll be right tomorrow. And Michael Keaton wants to do the right thing. And a little bit of a funny fight between him and Glenn Close. Ultimately, Michael Keaton gets fired, or maybe he's not fired by the end of it, because Glenn Close kind of has a change of heart while she's talking to Randy Quaid at this bar. It's the same bar that Robert Duvall is talking with Jason Alexander, and he's like, your name, Jason Alexander's name, Robert Duvall is saying, your name sounds familiar. And then he realizes it's the parking guy that Randy Quaid's been writing about. And Jason Alexander tries to shoot Randy Quaid. This is after they get a little fight, and then they hit Glenn Close in the leg, and then she realized, she should, do the right thing. So they change the article, and because the article goes out there saying the quote from a cop that, the kids didn't do it, the kids get released from jail, and the movie ends with Michael Keaton not worrying about the presses, not worrying about the paper, not worrying about, when the clock gets up 7 a.m. I mean, in the beginning of the film, he has he has his tie and suit and stuff ready to go. Here, he ignores it and cuddles with his wife at the hospital. So, he's getting his priorities straight, so to speak. What will happen with him in the future? Does he still have a job at this paper? Probably. Will he go back? What will happen? I don't know. But overall, not a bad film at all. Not a bad film at all. It went at a pretty decent pace. I mean, the rapid-fire pace of the newspaper was nice to see that. Sort of a day in the life of this newspaper. I thought the cast did a good job. You got a couple of little, fun bits, like Randy Quaid shooting the gun and clearing everyone out. When everyone's getting together, talking about stories that's happening, what they can put in the paper today. I don't know, I find that kind of interesting. I found that, the rapid-fire pace of this newspaper lifestyle pretty interesting. It's supposed to help build up the characters, but again, the stuff with Marisa Tomei really wasn't that interesting. It's not that she did a bad job, it wasn't really that interesting. Same with Robert Duvall's daughter. Wasn't really, those little bits weren't really that interesting. It seems when it got away from the newspaper environment and went out, also once in a while goes to those two kids and like them finding this body and then them being arrested and then a little bit of them being in jail. Again, it's all part of the story. It's just, it seemed like for me when it got out of the newspaper, it wasn't that interesting, but at the same time I know that's necessary in order to help with the main focus. But it's a Ron Howard film that not many people talk about, come to think of it. let alone a Michael Keaton film not many people talk about, and not a bad movie. I mean, it's not a movie that made me laugh out loud funny. It's not a movie that made me, think afterwards about this and that. But overall, if you like Michael Keaton, if you like this cast of characters, and it's directed by Ron Howard, check out the trailer, see if it interests you, and I think it's worth one watch. I don't know if it's a film I'll watch over and over again, but at the same time, it wasn't a bad film. I don't think it was a bad film at all. Not a bad film at all. You want to see a bad Michael Keaton film? Watch White Noise. That's a bad Michael Keaton film. But yeah, this was, I believe, 1994. And I think the year after, Ron Howard would come up with Apollo 13, I believe. I think this did okay business at the box office. I think it made at least a little bit of money. But The Paper, yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, when you're reviewing films like this, it's going to be a shorter than usual review, because usually I do like 20, 30-minute reviews, but films like these don't need 20, 30-minute reviews. It's just me reviewing films that people have sent me and letting you know a little bit about the film, and whether you want to see it or not, that's up to you really at the end of the day. Doesn't matter what I say. But either way, Paper, not too bad of a film, not too shabby of a flick. By the way, thanks for watching, take care, and stay tuned for a bunch of reviews later.